Donald Trump gave his testimony for the Trump University lawsuit back in December and January, and in an effort to compete with Hillary Clinton for the title of least transparent presidential candidate ever, he is now trying desperately to block the release of his testimony. Now, it's very obvious that he's doing this because the Trump University was just a scam. He defrauded people, and now they are rightfully suing him. So there were false claims that he would show up and give them insider business tips, which he has done, just be born into wealth. That's the first and final step. Second of all, it wasn't accredited, and students were pressured to spend up to $35,000 in, quote, mentorships, and classes were reportedly run like infomercials, and one Trump University instructor said that his job was to sell, not to teach. So any and everyone that paid money was obviously defrauded. So he did give his testimony, as I said, for this civil lawsuit, and his attorneys are doing everything they can to block it now. So according to ABC News, Trump's attorneys worry the images will be used to tarnish his campaign. U.S. District Judge Gonzalo Curiel said Wednesday during a hearing in San Diego that he will focus on whether there is good cause to protect the material over the public's right to evaluate the videotaped deposition by Trump regarding the fraud allegations against now defunct Trump University. Curiel pressed Trump's attorney during the hour-long hearing to specify what harm the videos might cause. Wednesday was the first time Curiel faced Trump's attorneys since the judge permitted the release of unrelated documents in a class action lawsuit alleging fraud, a move that led Trump to intensify his unusual attacks on the judge that included mention of his Mexican heritage. Curiel asked Trump's lawyer Daniel Petrocelli to explain how the potential harm overrides the public's right to evaluate a presidential candidate and potential future leader of the free world. Petrocelli answered, "The court's duty is not to facilitate public elections. The court's duty is to facilitate a fair trial." So there's an obvious contradiction there. So Trump's attorney is saying, look, as a judge, your job is to be a fair arbiter of the law, not to facilitate elections. But in the same breath, he's saying, but please don't release them because it'll actually hurt Donald Trump's electoral chances. Here's an idea. Maybe if you're being sued, or if you're being investigated by the FBI, or maybe if you don't want to release your tax returns, don't run for president. It's really, really simple. And, this competition between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump to be the least transparent candidate ever, it's really getting old. I mean, we can poke fun at it, but they're really just making a joke of our democracy. Now, ABC News continues. They state news organizations argue that the public has a right to the complete record, given how Trump has touted his business acumen. Dan Laidman, the lawyer representing the news organizations, said the clips would enhance the accuracy of reporting on the case. Lawyers representing Trump University's former customers say the videos present a more complete picture than the transcripts. So Judge Curiel didn't say when he would make his decision, but look, here's the thing. Any court deposition where there's a public interest in it, you have to release it if you're gonna run for president. I mean, we got to see the deposition of Justin Bieber, and I couldn't care less about that, and he's also not running for president. But the point is that if we can see his pointless deposition, then I better damn well be able to see Donald Trump's if he may lead the country, because to run for president and not expect there to be a public interest in this case where you allegedly defrauded many, many people, yeah, I'm sorry. It's just not, it's not acceptable. You got to release it. And here's the thing. It's embarrassing that he didn't expect public scrutiny when running for president. If you don't like that, then drop out. But this says a lot about his character, because Trump isn't a good businessman so much as he's just a con man. He sold Trump University students the false hope that they would learn about the real estate business and failed to deliver on that promise. It's a scam, and he is rightfully being sued for it. But again, getting back to this issue of transparency, this is just beyond frustrating, because you have an option between two mainstream candidates that are refusing to be transparent. Hillary Clinton refuses to release the transcripts of paid speeches she's given to Goldman Sachs. Donald Trump is refusing to release his testimony. He is refusing to release his tax returns, probably because it would prove that either he didn't pay any taxes or that he just isn't making as much as he claims he's making. So the fact that these two people, I mean, Tweedledee and Tweedledummer, I don't know what else to call them. That's not super rude, but I'm trying to be polite here. But the fact that they have the audacity to run for president and lead the country when they refuse to be transparent, it's just mind-numbingly stupid and aggravating. And it's just not acceptable. So here's the question that I have to all of Donald Trump's supporters. If you think he's innocent, then why is he trying to hide his testimony? If he really is innocent, wouldn't it be better to just release the testimony so we don't have to sit here and speculate? Well, of course he'd release it if the evidence wouldn't be damning. You only withhold information if you're afraid that it's going to hurt you, and obviously, by releasing his deposition, it probably would hurt him. People need to see this because this con man is expecting to be president of the United States. So his whole campaign is a big con. So if you're going to run for president, you got to be transparent. And look, that goes for Hillary Clinton as well. I hold them both to the same standard. If you want to run for president, release what the public has a public interest in knowing. And that is transcripts, details about your FBI investigation, details about your testimony, if you're being sued, your tax returns, release it all. Otherwise, don't run. Drop out.